Well, about an hour ago, pretty much, and for the last 16 hours or 12 hours, or I don't know how long, I was really determined that I just wanted to leave. And this is the second time that's happened. Mainly I just had the most ginormous blisters. They were so full of liquid, you could put probably a baby goldfish bowl in that amount of liquid. The blister was huge on my heel. Anyway, I drained it with the needle and thread technique and did put some Compeed over. There's so many conflicting views and everyone thinks they're right, and I just had to do what I had to do with what I had. And this morning it was absolutely agony to just even get my shoe on, and walking was like just being crippled. But as the morning's gone on, it's only been a couple of hours, it's got a lot better, and I've had coffee, which is always good, and I ate a tomato, which I had in my bag from the other day, which kind of felt like I got a bit of vitamin C, because I actually have mouth ulcers and feeling a bit scurvy-ish, because there's just not a lot of fresh fruit and vegetables easily accessible. Anyway, hoping to make it another it's probably another 18 kilometres, and from that point there is a leap off that I could catch a train or a bus to Leon, which I'd really like to do. I mean, I wanted to catch a train or a bus this morning. If there was one, I would have been on it like nobody's business. It would have been just absolutely what I would have done. Strangely, my pack feels remarkably light and looks really small, but I'm pretty sure there's nothing missing. I don't actually have much stuff. Maybe it's because I've got a few things hanging on the outside, and I haven't put that much water in, and I've got my travel bag with my iPad over my shoulder today for now, because my camera's run out of batteries, and I find it quite helpful having a little moment in the morning talking to myself, probably because I get to hear English and kind of express how I'm feeling. And yeah, I mean, last night was just really tough. In the scheme of things, not tough, but more just boring, because you're hearing people joking and laughing and drinking beer and doing all this, depending where you are. And it's like you don't understand a word they're saying. And yeah, one thing that's really been really helpful today is cold. In fact, it was really cold this morning, and it's still nice and fresh, which is kind of the first time I've had to keep my fleece on all morning. And it's supposed to get cooler as we go on. It's going to be a huge help. I don't think people realise when it's hot, like it has been in the late 30s last week, that it's just, it really gives you a small window when you can actually walk, and the heat is just extreme. I've only been walking a couple of weeks. It feels like a year. I'm not even joking. I think it's because you're in a different bed every night and you pass through so many villages per day, and it's just, I had this experience a few days ago, which was kind of cool. I met this girl from New York, and we were just doing some hand washing, and quick chat, and then later on I was sitting next to her, and I heard her crying into the phone, and her uncle had just died suddenly of a heart attack or something. I couldn't help but overhear, and I was kind of in the position where do I say something. It almost feels like it takes quite a lot of courage to go up to someone and say, hey, I'm sorry about your loss, which I did do. I didn't want to intrude, and I said I don't want to intrude, but I heard you just had a loss, and I'm really sorry. And I just put my hand on her shoulder and then left her to her phone calls and all that. Then later on she came up to me and she thanked me, and she was one of these really gregarious person. She teaches Bikram yoga and but kind of more interesting than some of the people that she met here. And she gave me a pic of these little cards with her own designs on, with her own little meanings attached to them. And it's actually really cool. I learned a lot from her about self-promotion because she's doing much what I'm doing creatively and artistically. And I thought that was quite a unique way to have these little cards that she's drawn and had printed out with her Facebook page and her, business that she's building around this. But it was very much exactly what I'm doing. It showed me how self-effacing and humble New Zealanders are, to the point of ridiculousness, compared to, like, say, someone from New York who, and later on I heard her that night, again, and not in a pushy, showy way, but just promoting her own self in a fun kind of way. I mean, it's hard to articulate. I don't have a lot of space on my iPad to really explain the whole ins and outs and the insights I got from it, but I got a lot of insight, and it really made me think. I don't even call myself a creative artist, and yet that's what I am to myself. That's what I spend most of my time doing, working on visual arts and visual media. And I've had a lot of really good feedback from all around the world when I've shared things on various sites online, and people call me, they say, oh, you must be an artist, and I'm like, oh no. But really, if you limit yourself to what you do that earns money, then I think that's really limiting your own potential. There's people coming. So what I really learned from this girl and her little creative business she's called Naughty Monk, which I think is really cute, I learned that you can, I already know this, of course, you can be whoever you want to be, and what you spend time doing defines you, not how you earn money. And that I have every right to call myself an artist as much as the next person. And in fact, many people, famous people who are now famous, think of like Van Gogh and people like that, they earned very little money while they were alive. And obviously I'm not putting myself in that bracket. It's just an easy comparison of someone who was an artist but didn't have money and barely lived off it while he was alive. So to define myself by how I earn money is kind of ridiculous, and it was just very, very insightful. My very close friends, which are just a few, are really, really encouraging, and they're so nice. Time really is different when you walk everywhere. Like, as I was saying earlier to myself, a couple of weeks feels more like a year. And I was just thinking, it just came to me just now, how the fact that I do walk everywhere at home anyway, time probably is quite different for me than it is for other people, and I enjoy that, and I'm happy with how I am and myself, and I actually do love walking, and I love walking as transport, and I do have a great reluctancy to own a car, for some reason, and I feel like, I think that's other people are just going to have to deal with that, and maybe I just have to stick with what feels right for me. I know the freedom it can give you, but walking gives you a different kind of freedom, an escape from a certain time construct, in a way. Like, it really does change how you view things and how you experience things. And yeah, it's something I just need to think about.